This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Welcome back to Midweek Politics. I'm David Pakman. Thanks for listening. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/midweekpolitics. And if you're on Facebook, and who isn't these days on that Facebook, Lewis, you can find the Midweek Politics group there as well. I want to talk about this ongoing saga with the Vatican and the Pope. There's even more allegations now that Pope Benedict XVI, or you may know him by his given name, Joseph Ratzinger. I still call him Joseph. There's more and more information implicating him in a lot of this incredibly embarrassing stuff that's going on at the Vatican. Not the least of which is that he took no action, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but many, many, many occasions of pedophilia and acts of pedophilia committed by those he was in charge of. He took literally no action to discipline them, except for just getting them out and moving them somewhere more convenient.
Right. I mean, if you know something is going wrong and you don't do anything about it, you're just as guilty. Especially
when you're talking about felonies.
Right. And he has the ability to do something about it.
If
clearly.
Anybody could do something, right. And again, we're not talking about while he was Pope, back when he was just good old Joe Ratzinger from Germany. He also encouraged and coordinated what I can only describe as a culture of silence, including both the offenders and the victims when it comes to sexual abuse, which just to me is not good. To say it's not good is an understatement. And in Ireland, the leader of the Catholic Church has been named in more than 200 civil actions by victims of alleged clerical abuse. That's just in one country. That's unbelievable. Now, let's be honest. Is anyone surprised about this? Everyone I know said when he was elected Pope, and of course this is anecdotal, that he looks like a pedophile. And the last thing I want to do, Lewis, is just to overgeneralize, but if you go on the Megan's Law website, familywatchdog.us, and look up sex offenders where you live, you'll find a lot of guys that have that same creepy look that the Pope has. And there may be a number of reasons why they have that look in common, but I'm not surprised at all by this. There's nothing about this that's surprising. It's time for the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI, possibly the prosecution as well, if it turns out that he was complicit in what can only be a conspiracy to hide regular child pedophilia.
Well, how long has this been going on? These first scandals, this first exploded, maybe 5-6 years ago?
At the level it's at now, 5-6 years ago, it's been a known thing for over 50 years.
Right, but I mean, it just started, the media coverage, it started booming 5-6 years ago.
5-6, maybe
Did I ever
8
think
years.
it would reach the Pope? No, definitely not. But I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
It's shocking, but not surprising. And Bill Donohue, who he needs no introduction, and I won't provide him the courtesy of one, he is saying that child molesting priests aren't really pedophiles because most of those kids were post-pubescent. This is him on the Larry King live show, and it's remarkable. I'll play it for you.
You gotta get your facts straight. I'm sorry. If I'm the only one's going to deal with facts tonight, then that'll be it. The vast majority of the victims are post-pubescent. That's not pedophilia, buddy. That's homosexuality.
Bill, I don't think as a person of faith that you really know what you're talking about when it comes to
it's the John
a victim
Jay
and a
study of criminal
survivor.
justice.
I think that it's absolutely right. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. They were technically post-pubescent, so it's not pedophilia. Have you ever heard a more absurd argument? If you're 13 and you're post-pubescent and a 45-year-old priest molests you, it's not pedophilia? I don't understand. I just don't understand. And even if we can find, I know we'll get emails from people saying, well, technically pedophilia is prepubescent. Okay, well, how about just the common understanding of pedophilia? If the guy's 13 and he was prepubescent at 12, does it really not become pedophilia anymore?
Like it makes it any better.
Like it makes it any better. That's exactly.
I think it would behoove anyone not to try and stick up for these guys in any way, shape, or form.
I think you're right. And just when you thought conservative and religious homosexual hijinks couldn't get any more ridiculous, they have. I don't even know how to bring this up, and we still don't even know the bottom line on it. RNC chairman Michael Steele was tied to about $2,000 of spending at a sex-themed Hollywood nightclub. And the reason that it could be homosexual hijinks is that we're talking about a nightclub that specializes in lesbian bondage. Michael Steele is denying having been at the club. The story is this. Michael Steele, one way or another, approved $1,946 of spending at the Voyeur nightclub in West Hollywood. This is a strange image for the Republican Party. I mean, spending $2,000 at a lesbian bondage club probably doesn't correspond with that family values theme that the Republicans are going for. I can't decide which is worse. On one hand, some GOP fundraiser committee thought the way to reach the big donors was to spend $2,000 at a lesbian bondage-themed bar. On the other hand, what about the fact that the big GOP donors are actually being courted this way? That's really the remarkable thing. Steele says it wasn't actually him at the club. He says, I didn't spend the RNC money there. It was a non-committee staffer where there were topless women simulating lesbian sex acts. They were simulating them, Lewis. It wasn't real. So that makes it okay. Whether or not Steele was there, he did approve the expenditure. Supposedly it was someone who was out entertaining young Republicans. So far, nobody's calling for Steele's resignation, at least on the Republican side. There's probably fear that it could generate even more turmoil, given that Michael Steele has already been criticized, and some have suggested he's not the right guy for the job.
This is either some really bad luck or just some really
really funny stuff.
Yeah, really stupid spending.
The Tea Party, I don't know how much you've been following the Tea Party. I've been following it pretty closely. There was a teabagger at a rally holding a sign that said, "Do not doubt our God will." It's one of the most grammatically ambiguous picket signs I've ever seen. Are they referring to a god of theirs named Will? Are they referring to the will of God, meaning our God's will? I don't know what they meant, but it's
probably supposed to be a comma there or something, or it's you know. I
think what they mean is the will of our God, but it just wasn't put together the right way.
Or our God's will. They forgot an S in there or something.
We can say anything we want about the Westboro Baptist Church, but the one thing we can't criticize them of is having grammatically ambiguous picket signs. When they put together their picket signs, it's clear what they mean. Your son died because of the fags. That's clear, you know?
Right. Actually, you know, Shirley and her brother, who we spoke with, their English is great. They are
lawyers.
They have great English.
If nothing else, their picket signs are going to be put together right.
The Lord your God is punishing this nation.
Okay. Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.